SSO. So I talked about being able to set up custom groups. We have the ability to do that by going over here to add a dispatch group. So if I'm a dispatcher, you'll have the ability to identify who's on my team. So if I click on the Jay's team, I can customize the employees that are available. I can identify which subcontractors I want to display on my schedule, on my screen, and which assets I want to display on my screen. Okay. And if I go back over to the schedule view, all right, we have the drop down here with all the different types of views that are available. So if I was to pull up Jay's team, I can see the employees that Jay identified that he manages, so that you can see them on the schedule. You can see all the equipment that Jay is responsible for, and subcontractors. We can also schedule out work orders, and we've kind of changed the pick list for work orders. We can filter which work orders display on the list here. I can customize the columns that are available to display here on the window on the left-hand side of the screen. I can also not just see work orders, but what's really new is everybody wants to see is this job functionality here. All right, so I brought in job number 03-00, and I can see all of my cost codes for that job. We're providing visibility into the estimated hours versus actual hours and hours left to complete. I can bring up another job, so let's go ahead and search for another job. Bring in Northwest Food. So I can hide and collapse two separate views here for these jobs. Now, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, okay, this is my customized view by default. So I'm Jay, I'm a dispatcher or a scheduled person in the office, and this is what I typically see. But I need to see the team members for the Fort Wayne office. How do I see only the employees that are allowed to work on that job? So if I click this little I here, it's going to change the view to show me only the resources that have been approved to work on that project. And those could be employees and equipment. And you can also collapse these views if you want. The dispatch screen as flexible as possible. Now if I needed to schedule a task for that job, I can simply schedule them on the job if I wanted to, if I didn't know what they were doing for the day, so I can drag and drop that onto a particular team member for a day. And now I have just created an assignment with a specified start and end date. All right, so this assignment starting at 7 in the morning and it's completing at 4 in the afternoon. I can also hover over and drill in for more information. But as you can see, there's no cost code there because I just created a general assignment for the job. But let's say I need to create an assignment and I want to let the employee know their task for the day. What's their cost code for the day? So let's say we're working on the exterior signs and I want Dathan to work on that. I can drag and drop that onto Dathan. It's updated. So now we have that activity and we're identifying, there it is, that task for the signs. Okay? That cost code is on that activity. Now, from Dathan's perspective, if he's in the field and he's an employee, what does that look like for the employee in the field? So if I drill over to the assignments view here, I like to call this the weekly time card, but this is really the only view that employees in the field have. And this is a tablet view. I'll show you what the smartphone view looks like in a moment. But on a tablet view, we break down each day of the week with the blue background here, so it's easy for the eye to follow. And if I wanted to simply just jump down to Friday and not see Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I have this little calendar here. I can toggle directly to today to clean up that screen. So here on today's screen, let's just talk a little bit about how we're breaking down the screen. So we're breaking down the different types of time entry by what they are. So here we have, these are all my jobs, and here's my work order. So on the job, this employee in the field has awareness that they need to go to Fort Wayne's office. They're working on the exterior signs. That's our cost code. They can see that they're expected to be there between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. All right. I can go ahead and I can start myself, basically punch into the job here, and we know that we're working on that job with the green dot there. So we're adding visual awareness of the status of that job, and we're also adding, we're actually spelling it out here, the word, so that there's awareness in multiple ways. Now, if I want to go back to my schedule view as an office person, and I looked at my scheduler, and I looked at dates, and you can see that we also update the background of the assignment to green. This is what this employee is doing right now in the field. So it's all real-time communication. A couple other things on this board here. So let's say I need to schedule. Let me go and schedule another job here. Let me go and let's go to the other job. Let's go to 03-. Let's bring back up that Fort Wayne Officers Club. Let's say we need to work on the toilet, and Jose needs to work on the toilet. So I can schedule this actually out for Wednesday. He's on a resource, so I just got an error saying that he's not approved to work on that job. So let's do flagpoles for Jose. Okay. So I just created that assignment for Jose to work on the flagpole. Now, what if I know that Jose is going to be here for a week or a couple of days? Maybe I do not want to manually go and drag and drop every single day, and I can do it on the 2-week view here also. So if I know that Jose's going to be here for an extended amount of time, I can simply just drag this out and kind of like Excel and create an assignment for each day. All right? So we try to make it super simple for those project managers to schedule out those activities. So if I went back to the week view here, we created those assignments and those activities for each day. If I go to next week here, we can see we have that scheduled out. So anybody who has Jose on any of the dispatch boards up here or any of the schedule views will see that, hey, Jose is already allocated to this project. So they'll have visual awareness that he is no longer a resource that is available for my projects. Or if they want them, they'll have to go talk to that project manager. All right? So let's go ahead, let's go back and log in and let's update, let's clock out of that call. So I'm going to go back to the view, the tablet view, and I'll jump into the smartphone view in a minute. But I can go ahead and I have the ability on this one now to just simply complete my assignment. When I complete my assignment, we're automatically calculating the time there. All right? It really should say regular time, overtime, salary pay is, I didn't set it up properly, my apologies, but gives you the idea of how it works. And that 0.05 hours, if you have service management, is sitting in the edit time entries table with the job number, cost code category, all that fun stuff, ready for review and approval. All right. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the superintendent role we have, or the time entry role. So if I was, and just give you a feel for what an assignment looks like on a smartphone in a field. So I'm going to drag over, I have that set up over here, ready to go. So if I was in the field and I was logged in as a superintendent, it would probably look something like this on my smartphone. Because we have a responsive design, we automatically customize the look of the product to that end user in the field. So if I also have the ability to toggle day here. So if I want to see my whole entire week, Monday, Tuesday, I can do that. But we try to make it simple to toggle to the day here. Another feature that a lot of people don't know about is we have this history button here. So I can quickly jump to a record I was working on. We put this in for all the views. It doesn't matter if you're on a smartphone, tablet, or laptop. We want to make it easy to navigate the system and quickly jump back onto a work order or job that you were working on a couple hours ago. But if I was on a smartphone, we do have the ability to, just drill assignment. And since this user is considered a superintendent, they'll have the ability to punch in and punch out on that construction job assignment, but they also have the ability to generate a new field report or take a photo and attach it to the job and see other assignments for other individuals if needed. Okay? We also have, and I won't do it now, but we also have crew support. So we have, think of this as I have 5 employees in a job, and I need to punch everyone in and punch everyone out at the same time. We can also support that if that's required. Okay. So let's kind of, so I just want to give you a flavor for what it looks like for a time entry or superintendent user. Just keep in mind, a time entry only user, they're gonna, when they drill into an assignment, they're going to be brought directly to this page here. They are not going to have field reports or work orders or be able to see other people's assignments or enter time for other employees. So that's, you know, an upsell opportunity. So if the customer wants their employees to be able to create daily field reports, they'll need to pay for that higher superintendent SKU instead of the time entry SKU. Okay? All right, so let's kind of, let's go back over here to the scheduler. I talked about equipment and how you can schedule resources against equipment. Let me just quickly show you where you set that up. Company equipment. So here's where, in the 300 product, you're going to be required to set up and manage that equipment in SSO. In 100, that